Heather McDonald has got the juiciest scoop. When you're on the road, when you're on the go, Juicy Scoop is the show to know. She talks Hollywood tales, her real life Mr. Segment serial data and serial sister. You'll be addicted and addicted fast to the #1 tabloid real life podcast. Listen in, listen up. Woo woo. Heather McDonald, Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I am back with two of my girls, the dynamic duo. Been through hell and back, but they're back on Juicy Scoop. Brandy Howard, Julie Goldman, thank you for being here. What a week and a half it's been.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
We never knew anyone would ever have us anywhere again.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm one of those people throughout my professional career and friendship life. I am not the one that ever follows the L. Ron Hubbard of it all and gets rid of people. And I always think that's not necessarily what the L. Ron Hubbard even wants. So I'm just saying I don't do that.
Thank you.
I have had situations like that where all the people leave the people of the king or whatever, or the queen, and that is not the case, and it's not necessary. We're
not suppressive people. We're not. We really do try not to be suppressives. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Regardless of what has been said.
Yes.
We just aren't.
No.
Wearing pink.
And we were doing
Your
Juicy
delights.
Scoop before.
Right, of course.
know?
Of
That's
course.
right.
You're going to continue.
And
We had
even
a
though
great show.
We I guess apparently have a path of self-destruction and never taking accountability. That didn't happen here on Juicy Scoop. It didn't happen on our two TV shows on Bravo. It didn't happen when we were writers on Fashion Police, and it didn't happen on our show on Oxygen. So
it didn't even happen at my bat mitzvah.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you.
I'm glad you got.
I did the whole thing.
That is.
Yeah, we did all of it.
I think that, yes.
we do
good
manage
points,
to keep.
Good points.
Yeah,
We did, yeah.
So we're just trying to, we were, if you don't know, then you don't know. But if you know, you know. We were fired from Sirius XM from hosting the Jeff Lewis Live After Show, and so we want everyone to join our Patreon.
Hopefully
Yeah.
they have already, since
That's
you've
it.
been promoting it for many years. But talented, fun girls that are entertaining and juicy and interesting. And so please, if you haven't already, check it out.
Thank you.
What is it? brandyandjulie.com?
Julie and Brandy.
Sorry. julieandbrandy.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's where you can find the information of their Patreon, or we have a free podcast too. And that's just, where we're at. We're just trying to get through this. It's not really easy to hear things about you in a super public way. It's, it's hard.
Yeah.
I will say though that we are allowed in the Sirius building.
Okay, good.
There have been some talk that we would have to be smuggled in, or we're not allowed in. No, we are allowed in, and we have been invited on other shows.
Good.
At
Great.
Sirius, so
Yeah.
we're not banned from Sirius.
I think, yeah. I just came from Jeff's, and I just want to make it really clear to people that listen to these things that are not part of the industry, which is probably 98% of the people that listen. Things happen. People have creative differences. Shows, people, get removed from being an executive producer or the head writer because they don't get along with Roseanne Barr or whatever. Things happen. And normally in the world before podcasting, and where I've literally joked, it used to be I heard what you said about me. It's no, I heard what you said about me on your podcast. We literally hear each other talking behind each other's backs, except that it's not behind each other's backs. It's literally out here. So I know that's really hard, and I know it's kind of fun to follow for people, but normally the intricacies of how a deal or a business takes a break or doesn't work out, you wouldn't necessarily know. And so everyone gets their 2 cents in. And my opinion is, all the parties involved, the talent parties involved, are extremely talented. And it's just a really unfortunate thing that it wasn't a good fit and it didn't work out. And you can still enjoy Brandy and Julie, of course, here, but also in all their own things that you've been doing for a while that are only going to get stronger.
Yeah, we've been doing them for years. And I do want to, there was a group of people, we're not on Facebook. There was a group of people that got together. They made a Facebook page called All Things Julie and Brandy, which was really, really, really touching and nice. And that was, in the midst of hearing a lot of
Negative stuff.
Yeah. It was nice that people got together and made that page and were supportive because, we don't feel like we're unprofessional, atrocious people, but, so, yeah.
Well, great. Well,
hilarious.
I have some fun, juicy.
Anyway, what a show.
Look at me last night.
Oh.
The haters will hate that I went out and had a fun night last night.
That's right.
Because I did. I went to my own old stomping ground, the Sky Bar at the Mondrian Hotel, because Jax Taylor, that deliciousness, invited me to an event. He is paired up with a hair growth serum company and wellness for men and women. And so I did not know, and I swear to God I did not know when I went that they were in fact filming for the new show, The Valley.
Oh, that's what it's called?
It's called The Valley, which gets me wet. Okay.
Wait.
But it's called The Valley.
The Valley, the new Jax
the spinoff of Vanderpump is The Valley, featuring Jax, Brittany, Kristen Doty, and then these 2 or 3 other couples. This one girl, Janet, you may have seen if you follow the show or follow their Instagram. She's married and pregnant. She lives there. And then there's 2 other new couples. And then I think there's this other girl that was formerly on The Bachelor. That's a friend of all theirs.
Well, Jax could have invited us.
He probably could have. And I thought about it, but I was like, let me just go. Let me be sober. Let me drive. But by the way, I love you, Sky Bar, but God, it took a long time to get my car after. That I was literally, this is why I do Uber when I go to LA, because it's $25 to park, another $5 or $10 to tip, and then you wait 35 minutes. So I'm like, and you can't drink. So
That's
I'm like,
what I hate about ballet is the waiting. It's bye everyone, and then you usually walk
then it's
together to ballet. It's so awkward.
Where you have to wait so long. That's so true. And you're like, oh, hi.
Yeah. You just said bye, but let's just talk for 30 more minutes. Yeah. Too bad I don't still have my cocktail out here.
Yeah.
Because we're still hanging out.
Yeah. But it was fun to watch. There were a lot of cameras there.
So is Stassi not on it?
No, she is not part of that cast. I don't know if she goes to a party or anything, but definitely I don't think she's a regular cast person. And so they're all young millennial couples with either kids or about to have a kid. And then I talked to Jax about his restaurant.
Oh, that's right.
Which is very exciting because people reminded me that at one time, I said 2 or 3 years ago when he was no longer going to be on Vanderpump and he was talking about getting the hell out of California and moving or whatever. And I said, if he moves, he and Brittany should open a bar and they should make it like Planet Hollywood, but with reality show memorabilia, mostly Vanderpump, but you could get a little bit from everybody and make it like Planet Hollywood, but reality world. And wouldn't that be fun for Orlando or something? Well, anyway, he's staying here and he is opening a bar on Ventura Boulevard. And it's going to have the Beer Ma cheese or whatever. What is it?
Yeah.
Me Ma beer cheese.
Yeah.
And she was there, the grandma.
Oh.
And fun, stuff. They are going to have some memorabilia.
Good.
I then gave another suggestion of mine.
Which was to...
Hope no one else steals it
make
before he
love
does.
to you.
No, not to make love to Jackson and his family. No, it was... I said, I love that this is the Valley, and I think you should embrace what the old 1970s Valley was, which was where all the kind of below the line people, the working people of the industry, and the character actors, and people that might not be famous who would have their headshot when you would go to the dry cleaners.
Like my dry cleaner.
Yes. And I said, I really want you to have just varieties. It could be unfamous people. It could be whatever. Mine from 1993. I was in my my mom gave the dry cleaner my first headshot.
Mine was the dry cleaner too.
And I think it was there for a long time. And I just think that could be really, really fun.
I gave my
So
own.
I think this is going to be a fun place to go when you go on when you do the LA tour of getting the health nut salad at
Yes.
the Kardashian
Yes.
Shake Your Salad.
Yep.
Go past the Juicy Scoop Studios and then go to Target.
Yep.
Maybe you'll run into Tori Spelling and paparazzi following her.
Nice.
And then you go down and you go to his restaurant,
Yeah, because whereabouts is that?
like Studio City, Sherman Oaks.
Okay.
Perfect.
Ventura and Whitsett or something. Then you're going to go over the hill, over Laurel or whatever, go into West Hollywood, do the Tom Tom,
Yeah.
and
That's good.
yeah, and then I like get to see it all.
I'll definitely go to Jax's, and he will clean up if he physically goes. Like how
yeah.
the Toms go to Tom Tom and Lisa Vanderpump would go to Pump. Like,
Yeah.
there isn't one person who would he needs to go there because the people will go to see him. He's
I do
so
want to
charismatic.
say that
in
we
person.
had
Yeah.
we had our photo up with our dogs from People's Couch at the dog groomer, and then they sold it and moved to Colorado, and I was so bummed because it was like we were like celebs at the dog groomer.
Oh, your faces were up
It
there.
was our face with all of our dogs. It was like our promo picture from People's Couch because all the dogs were on People's Couch. So it was huge at the dog groomer, and we were like the celebrities of the dog groomer. It was so fun.
It was great.
amazing. And so then here I am with Brittany and Kristen.
Oh, great.
You can see the cameras behind us. And then I'm here with Logan and Leo. They're Lala's best friends, these guys. You sometimes might see them on the show, but they were just there to support.
Was Lalita there?
No.
Oh, she wasn't?
No, I called her and she said I'm sick and I can't talk or what, I don't know.
Do you think they can't go on?
Oh no, they can go.
They can go.
No.
They can do crossovers.
Oh, yeah,
from the
yeah.
Valley and the Vanderpump.
No, I mean, yeah, it's all supposed to be authentic. Like, she's not going to not go to like Cruz's birthday because it's
Okay.
yeah. So anyway, it was a fun night. I'm glad I got out. Oh, there was a Juicy Scooper that was a bartender. Shout out to Morgan. Okay,
Shout out Morgan.
Shout out Morgan.
Well, and this is where because I love a free drink.
It wasn't free. It was free because it was an event. So I got free drinks during the event because the event paid.
The drinks at the Mondrian are like $35.
So expensive.
Yes, I mean seriously.
And the way I used to get in there back in the day, because that was the spot, the Sky Bar. That's where I met Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
Everything is, I would call this number.
I did this too. I 100% did this.
And I would say, ding-a-ling-ling. Okay, you be the Sky Bar person.
What I did was a message. So yours was live?
Maybe not. Maybe.
It was like a voicemail. Hi, you've reached the Mondrian Sky Bar. Please leave a message of who you would like in your reservation in your party.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello, this is Elaine. I'm calling from the Ford Modeling Agency. I have 3 girls flying in from New York today, and it's Heather McDonald, Cheryl Hines, and Liz Roman or something. And then that would be it. And then we would go, and they'd say, what's the name? And I'd say, with the Ford Modeling Agency, Heather McDonald. And these are my friends. And then we would go in, worked every time. I was not going to risk that I was so hot that I didn't have to be on a list. Never going to risk that. I needed to be on the list.
Before I started doing the voicemail trick, I would show up there before the list. That's how lurky. And I didn't have any money. The drinks were so expensive. So I'd be there early while the sun's still out, playing it off like I'm at the pool, because the Sky Bar is around the pool. And then I'd be like one drink and like the tiniest drink, making it last 3 hours. Then when the sun would go down and the list would be out, I would just be like hiding in the shadows until I could just be there. Like literally the Sky Bar was it.
I want to still say it's a great spot, especially in the summer, because you're walking around that pool and it just feels very Hollywood and fun. And, but I there was something I was just when you were talking about that, about the Cheryl Hines. Oh, fuck, I forgot.
You could see people having sex in the windows too. Do you remember
We
that?
went up to a place to a place and this guy was trying to like lick Cheryl's toes.
Really?
Now I shouldn't be talking about this because she might be first lady soon.
Oh, that's right.
Because she's married to Robert Kennedy Jr., which would be so interesting if this girl that I did like inappropriate sketches with becomes the first lady. Why are you acting so shocked? How did
I
you not know that?
I-
Cheryl Hines from Curb Your Enthusiasm
Is married to Robert Kennedy Jr.,
who's running for president. Dumb gay politics. You are freaking dumb. How do you not know that?
I didn't know
We
that.
took the politics out of dumb gay politics.
Yeah,
We
I
did.
didn't know that. I was
Maybe
so
that's
focused.
good. Yeah.
I was focused on his politics. I didn't know who
well,
he was
there
married
you
to,
go.
and his, But wow.
I do remember
Wow.
that. Okay, I do remember this.
Wow.
So, because the Comedy Store was right across the way. Oh, here's a red flag. The Comedy Store is right across the street. And so one night when I was dating Peter early on, he was, I'll come see your show. And I invited a bunch of girlfriends with me to see me do stand-up. And then we walked across the street to the Sky Bar. And it was probably a weeknight. And so it was not a problem, whatever, getting out. That part, that was not a big deal. And he did the classy thing and bought all the friends drinks. I go home with him to his Sherman Oaks condo, and then the next day everything's fine, but he like whips out the receipt, and that was a good red. That's a red flag. That was a major. That he was. Wow, these drinks are expensive.
Oh, the next day,
Next
Peter
day,
brought the receipt
out
out.
and was like
And
very much like. Whoa!
Peter.
Classic
Like,
Peter.
Back then it was $12 a drink, and that was
was a lot.
shocking because a normal drink would be like $6.50
Yeah.
or something. And so, and then he just kept bringing it up, and I was like, okay, like whatever, And he was trying to like still be cool about
Yeah.
it, but
But he's harping
I
on it.
oftentimes look back at it. I'm just saying, girls, see what you can deal with.
The last time Julie and I
Or
were
get
there,
knocked
Women
up.
put up with a lot of stuff, okay? Don't they? Right, ladies? Women have to put up with a lot of things people don't realize.
Okay.
We
But
just
Yes.
do.
that was pretty classic Peter.
Yeah.
Looking back, right?
Yeah.
All these years, you're like,
Yeah.
I should have known. The last time we were there Julie and I were there was in like 2017, and we went up. We didn't even get for that many people. It was like 4 people we bought drinks for, and I turned white as a sheet. I was like, I didn't even
$115?
understand. Yeah, I was like, I don't understand what just happened to us, and I was like shaking as we walked away. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I feel like they were $30 a piece.
Probably
Well, that's
more.
why this was nice because they were free.
Oh yeah.
For a minute. What it was free, free everything, but then it switched to beer and wine was free, but not a cocktail.
Was
And-
Morgan was she there as like a catered bartender?
No, she like worked there.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so I did have one of the wines, and I without knowing she was a juicy scooper, I did tip her nicely.
Oh, good.
So I just want to say, sorry, Maureen, you can't make a TikTok about what a bitch I am.
Do you think she was testing you? Like, let me see what she does before I tell her.
Maybe because it was only after that I came back that for the next thing is I said, can I have like a sparkling water? And she goes, would you like a can of sparkling water? I go, yes, because little do I know it's going to take 45 minutes to get my car and I'm driving
Yeah.
home. And then she said, by the way, I'm a huge juicy scooper. And I was like, oh, interesting that you didn't say it when you first handed me remember wine.
Do you tip more at events like this because people are lurking and judging?
Honestly, I have just become a better tipper over the years because I can afford to, and that's that.
Yeah.
I don't really overly think it. I just know that, like, it just means so much to people when you give them a little extra and it's a little fun and it's kind of nice. And especially, like, housekeepers in hotels. And I never really thought about it until my friend who worked for the hotel said, nobody sees it. So a lot of these housekeepers don't get anything. Because
Yeah.
people can just
Oh,
leave
right.
and not leave anything. No
Right.
one, you see it on a table, you see it out of valet. And so
Well,
I think that's important.
I am a huge tipper, but I am so selfish, about it. Like, it's 100% about me. So, like, I would never, tip a housekeeper where I just, leave the money.
You write a long
I
note?
have to see them take it and be I have to, I have to enjoy.
Are you doing the TikToks about it? Have you seen all those TikToks where they're like, hey, excuse me. This is what they'll do. Like, hey, excuse me, ma'am. Just play along.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm sorry to bother you. I was just wondering if I could have $1 to buy this crayon set for my daughter. I'm just a little bit short. It's been a hard month. Do you think you could spare $1?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You could have this $1 back. Extra price.
Why?
I just was seeing if someone was nice, and you look like you have a sad, horrible life.
Wait,
You look like you're
wait.
You look like
Wait, why are they? Yeah, I look like I'm
I'm here's $1,000.
Oh my god!
Yeah, here's $1,000.
Oh my god!
I'm sure you could find something to do with that $1,000. Maybe get a new outfit.
yeah.
Or take your sad kids to Magic Mountain.
wow.
So really, that's what they're doing.
Oh my God, yes.
But are they mean about their outfits?
No, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
I mean, they test it out, and what's nice is if these people they find kind of downtrodden people that are not rolling in it. So it is extra nice that they'd be willing to give $1 or $5 or whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
Then they reward them,
With
but in
$1,000.
doing it, they'll be like, "Hey," and there's a little kid there. Do you like the Knicks or whatever? And the little kid's like, "Yeah, but I've never gone to a game before." No, I bet you haven't, because it looks like your dad's kind of broke. Well, because your dad gave me $1. Come on, we're going to the Knicks game. And I still think it's nice, and I still end up crying and getting chills, even though it could honestly be fake. A lot of people are now in the comments like, I wonder if this is just fake for views. Like, like almost like, hey, like, or going up to someone and being like, hey, or maybe you've asked 10 people and no one says yes, and now you're like, I'd like to get the shoot done.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to ask for $1 for this crayon set.
Yeah.
You're going to give it, and trust me, I'm going to give you some money after, and just like whatever. And then maybe do that with 3 people and pick the one that's the best actress.
Yeah. You gotta.
I don't know.
You gotta
maybe
get to
it's
lunch.
True. It could be true too as well. It's still nice, but it's like it's just kind of like, oh, and then people are like, oh, why can't you just do this and not have it be seen? Like just know that like it's paying it forward and being like a sweet person, whatever. But
it's totally the thing of I have to give the tip and look at them and feel good about myself, and I feel great about it every time. It's like
even when we go out, she'll be like, make sure to hand them the money. I'm like, I just want to leave it on the table. And no, you have to. I want to see them get the money. I'm like, okay. Even, I mean, it's real. But it does feel good when they like it. It does.
Well, there was this one that you reminded me of. They did leave it for the housekeeper. And they they put it like under a blanket or whatever, and they spread it all out. It was like $500. But they like hid cameras.
Of course,
because
you have to get the payoff.
Then the girl's like, I can't believe she doesn't know the cameras are there. This one I might have thought was real, and it was just like, oh my God, this is so great. It's like, okay, but I also think it's really smart when a celebrity does it, because I do remember one time someone I know had a talk show, and a famous person came on. I mean, like, say it was Jennifer Aniston, and Jennifer Aniston sits down, and she's like, "Can I just say what a great woman this is? I have a hairdresser that literally met her once, and she happened to be at the same restaurant as him, and before his evening ended, she picked up the whole bill for he and his friends." And everyone's like, wow! And I watched it, and I was like, this is so smart. For maybe $1,000, look at the authentic PR you got for $1,000. Like, you could not plant these stories in the New York Post. That would cost $10,000. Like, so I'm just like, yeah, it's really cool when it just happened. And I'm not saying that this person wasn't a generous tipper everywhere, but it seemed, and if this was even intentional, because it may not have been, but it seemed to really work out nicely when you have the person who's coming on your show the next day, and you happen to see someone that's going to communicate with her of how nice you were. I think it's good.
Seeing all of it does lift the bar up, because sometimes I'm such an asshole that I want so badly for the Oprah level. Here's $100,000. Here, we're paying for your kids' education. Your mother's we're getting her a house, whatever, or the person on the street. That sometimes I'll be like annoyed when something happens on a TV show and they're like, are you ready? We heard that you're having trouble with your student loans. Then we're like, oh my God, they're going to pay off their student loans. And then like, here's $5,000. And you're like, what the fuck?
Okay, so one of the things that my kids and I love doing is improving the helpful Honda dealer. I don't know if the helpful Honda dealer is nationwide, but we would play all the time, and I'd be like, ding-a-ling-a-ling, hello? Hi, is this Casey? Yes. Hi, this is your helpful Honda dealer. We heard that you're having some trouble with your neighbor because he can't trim his trees? Oh, yes. He's about 65 and he retired like 40 years ago. And I'm like, wait, he hasn't been working since he's 45? And he is having trouble trimming his trees. Well, we're going to take care of your neighbor's trees and we're going to trim them today. And I was like, first of all, this was literally one of the commercials. And I'm like, okay, that can't be that expensive.
No.
And why can't this guy, what has he been doing for 20 years? And what kind of pension, what kind of like city worker did you get to retire at 45 and you still get to live in your home? Like, I was just like, so like, wow, what is this job that you could retire at 45?
The helpful Honda people are so fucking annoying. They are so annoying. Like, we heard that you're at the counter, like, does your cell phone battery doesn't work, huh? No. Here's a new one.
Yeah.
Great. I can get that anywhere.
Today, we helped Julie charge her phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Without having to go to Walmart herself.
I mean, well, if I was the lady on the phone, Cheryl, I would have been like, okay, cool. Can you come trim my trees?
Right.
Instead of just my
Why is it all about
neighbor.
him?
Yeah, why is it about my lazy
Why is it
neighbor?
always about him?
It's like, hi, I heard you're a school teacher. Uh-huh. And we heard you have about 1,000 items on your wish list for your
you're
students.
right.
I do. Guess what? We're going to take care of about 60 of those. Oh.
It's all, yeah.
So dumb.
Okay, let's talk about some other stuff.
So dumb.
Do you know about Scooter Braun? Scooter
Yes.
Braun, the infamous Scooter Braun. Taylor Swift hates him. There was stories about, that he took her catalog. That's why she got to redo the music. Mm-hmm. I don't know all the details, Swifties, but it seems like it worked out pretty nice for her that she could re-record these songs. Maybe it wasn't the worst thing in the world.
Well, she turned like lemons into lemonade. She did that. It
Great.
didn't work out for her. She worked the funk
I
out,
love that.
Yeah.
Well, now...
just like we're going to do.
Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande have left him. Prior to that, Demi Moore have left him for management.
He's a skanky fucking loser. Excuse me.
Allegedly. Why is he such a skanky? Why is he allegedly such a skanky?
Or a
fucking
scam
loser?
artist. He's a con artist, a scam artist. He uses
Allegedly.
these people allegedly. And he he took her catalog right from underneath her. She wanted to buy it. And then he scammed
Carly
her.
Kloss, right? Carly Kloss told Scooter Braun, and Scooter Braun scooted in, no pun intended, and bought it before Taylor Swift could buy it. And that's just gross.
He's gross.
Those are her recordings, her music.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you doing here but just
Right.
lurking?
He bought the masters of her first 6 albums, Taylor Swift. Also, multiple sources are telling us that Bieber and Braun allegedly haven't spoken for months. But the other thing I said was, yes, he's no longer managing them, but it's because he's pursuing some other management company. But but a lot of people were like, why did this all happen so suddenly? Because, throughout the years, Ariana Grande reportedly was parting ways with Scooter, following the footsteps of Demi Lovato, like I said. And then, but back in 2013, she said, the reason I signed with him is because we had a meeting at my house and he was equally as passionate about my project as I was, if not more. That's what she said in 2013. Then in 2008, Scooter Braun said to Variety, with Ariana, I could have said a lot of stuff. And in fact, my team wanted me to because they were pissed. I don't know what that's about.
That's probably about, was this in
It was
what year?
2018.
Oh, that was about, for sure, Pete Davidson and their drug use and the whole thing.
Oh.
Because they all
Oh, this
kept
is
up.
where he said, sorry
Yeah.
that I'm not reading this right.
Yeah.
He added, and when shitty boyfriends leave, she
See?
starts to see the light on some stuff. This could have been like a game show that you caught.
Yeah.
From okay, wait, that she starts to see the light on some stuff. And one day I got a phone call. She said, can I see you tomorrow? And I said, no, I'm busy. I actually couldn't. So I said, I could see you Thursday or whatever. And I went over there and we had a very honest conversation. He was also vital in putting on a benefit in 2017 for when that horrible thing happened on Ariana's concert, the terrorist attack. So whatever. They could be leaving him because they don't want to be under his management anymore. They're older, they're more mature, they've gotten together. It could all be coincidental, or it could be what he said, I'm just moving out of personal management.
Yeah, I mean, he's richer than God. He doesn't need to manage these people.
Doesn't need to be like, are the jelly beans in the
Yeah.
green room?
He's
Yeah.
stolen enough money from people. He's
Yeah.
scammed and conned, and now he can take his money that he took in nefarious ways and go
Allegedly.
live his life, allegedly.
Okay, well, there you go. Let's talk about Britney Spears, you guys. So, Britney Spears, as you know, is getting divorced. There's lots of things going on. She lost, according to TMZ, her manager and lawyer are now left in charge. That's the Kate Hudson and this lawyer, because they believe that she, is not totally equipped to be by herself. While she goes through this divorce with Sam, according to TMZ, her lawyer Matthew Rosengart and the manager Cade Hudson are more than likely to be the last people standing in her life. The lawyer repeatedly doesn't think that her current mental state is great and is cause for alarm. So, but there is no plans to increase the medical care or therapy. This is according to this. So there's that.
I don't know. TMZ Thursday is having divorced and dire, or I don't know what the second word is, but it's a divorce special. It's on at 8 p.m. PST. I am watching it because
Who's it about? Everybody
it's about,
or just them?
It's about Britney.
Oh.
And the divorce and what's going on after the divorce and despair maybe, and about what's gone on since. And I don't know if you saw, because this is
tell.
pretty new. I guess TMZ, when reporting this thing about this lawyer and the other guy, said they have to take care of making sure she's fed. That was the part of it, she gets to her appointments and that she has food to eat, or so that she's fed. So she got pissed and went on, and she set up her iPhone. Okay, it's so good. And she put a cutting board down, and she's furiously.
Oh, I saw I was like, why is she suddenly, becoming Martha Stewart?
Yeah.
Cutting the vegetables, and this is how and I was kind of impressed that she could crack an egg with one hand. One thing I've never even attempted to do.
And I wanted to show to Julie just because, and she's chopping the peppers with a steak knife, not a knife you used to
Then
chop.
tomatoes and eggs.
Yes, then a bunch of eggs, and she did the eggs good.
Interesting. That's what that was about. Okay.
And
So
then,
she's like, I'm feeding myself, y'all, like that.
Yeah, but she didn't speak at all. She's just mad, and then and the eggs. I was impressed as well. I wasn't quite sure if I felt the eggs were done, all the way cooked at the
Right.
end, or when she put them half in, but she just halfway through when the thing threw the thing down, and it was a little revenge cooking video, which I was kind of here for. I'm she always knows when to pivot.
By the way, when we did our show at the Live Irvine, Brandon did come down to help, and then he puked. So I sent him home, and Peter was like, it's because he made these pancakes and he didn't cook them all the way through.
Oh.
That's
When
I
people eat
left
cookie
my
dough.
baby 17-year-old alone with his father, and look what happened.
And you
Two
usually
minutes, as I'm gallivanting doing 5
Yeah.
shows in Irvine with no voice.
we were drinking champagne and getting with hookers and
But
stuff.
so anyway, I hope she can cook her. I hope she can cook her eggs all the way through. Okay, a couple things. Now, I have talked about all the conspiracy theories that are interesting. Is it really her? Was she replaced by an alien? Is she replaced by a male trans or whatever? Person that does impressions of her. Who is this? There was this one weird video where she's dancing and it goes like this. And literally she goes like this and it looks like Jackie Schimmel. It looks like a completely different person. Okay, but this is what I think. Because we just saw photos of her going to get fried chicken with her new 10 gay best friends that then exploited her and took a bunch of photos of her and called their friends, get over here! B is going off! But before that, and they get her walking into a restaurant, and definitely her body looks very different from the body that we're seeing currently spinning around. So I think it's always been Britney. However, she is using a filter for video to look a little slimmer and trimmer.
Oh, and it makes her face look distorted.
And so if you don't do the whole thing or something, I don't know how this works, okay? I don't even know how to do face tune-ups, I swear to God. That's why there's freckles on my legs and, I don't know, okay? But it's I guess if you don't do all the steps, that can happen where then you go like this. So it wasn't someone being someone else.
Because if it's slimming her down and she moves her hands in front of her face, it's going to distort her face as she moves
it's something like that. Yeah. So I think that's interesting.
Well, Jackie Schimmel should absolutely screenshot that and be like, living my best life, honey. Like, add her baby in the back.
Yeah.
So good.
So the other story is, I don't know how you animal parents are going to feel about this.
Oh, no.
Britney
Heather.
Spears and Sam reach a dog custody agreement. I'm just saying, amid their ongoing divorce, Britney and Sam have settled their dog custody.
Okay.
Sam retains custody of their Doberman, Portia, while Britney will have the other 4 dogs. Previously, Britney had been unwilling to give up any of the dogs, but after he filed for divorce after a year of marriage, accusing Britney of infidelity post-divorce, Spears expressed her shock and pain, and then Sam moved to the 10,000 building in Los Angeles, a very fancy building. He's there now, I guess, with the Doberman.
Was the Doberman his originally?
Let me see.
Because that would be the only
It
reason
doesn't
I
really
could see her
say.
doing
It
that.
just that they have all these. Sam gave Portia, which is the Doberman, to Britney as a present.
Oh.
And she was the one who wanted to adopt this other dog while they were in Maui. And then they both have, the actor accused her of cheating with a staff in his home, if you missed that news.
We missed that.
There's also reports that he's had a wandering eye and been flirting and cheating with people throughout the relationship with this girl that he may have met at the gym, allegedly. At this gym that he hung out with other people that are quite the players.
I always thought he seemed like he would be hooking up with men.
Well, Jason Alexander, not from Seinfeld, but her first husband, he said that in a podcast. But everything that I think, no. I think he is straight. Oh, by the way, Kate Hudson, who is her manager, that guy, his high school, someone let me know, so I'm not 100% sure, on his high school graduation photo, like someone was sending the yearbook around or posting it, and we don't know where it came from, but it said, my goal is to be best friends with Paris, Brittany, and Lindsay.
This guy, Sam?
No, Kate Hudson, who's now her current manager, who I believe is gay. He could be bi.
Well,
whatever.
no one would write that
But
unless
that's
they were
Kate
gay.
Hudson.
Yeah.
Cade Hudson and the lawyer are the ones that now. So I mean, dreams do come true.
Look at Paris's husband. He did that too. Literally, Paris's current husband in college was like, someday I'm going to find Paris and I'm going to marry her because I'm a...
Yeah, like that was in
In
his
the
yearbook.
words of Kim Zolciak, say it, believe it, achieve it.
And they did.
Like, hey, this is the secret to the nth degree.
I mean, I don't want to make rash generalizations, but I think basically grown man at the end of high school whose goal is to hang out with Lindsay, Brittany, and Paris, might be of the homosexual
Well, he was
persuasion.
accused, this person, when he was a agent with an agency of, soliciting men who are actors, some type of thing.
Why in 2023 are we
Allegedly.
hiding being a gay man?
No, I don't think he's hiding it.
Oh, okay.
But I'm thinking some people thought, and even Jason Laus thought that the videos of Cade with her looked more sexual than you would have with a gay best friend.
Okay.
So they were like, well, maybe he's bi. I mean, people are bi, whatever. But, we'll see. There you go. Also, okay, so what was this? He found new digs. And then Madonna. I mean, Madonna's the Bethany Frankel in this scenario. Madonna wants Britney Spears to join her on stage in the Celebration tour. Madonna, you and your hip is not ready, and neither is she. Okay, this isn't.
Be a hot mess tour.
But she knows that would. Yeah, she's going to help her. She's going to help her just like Bethany helped Raquel.
I mean, I do want to see Madonna. I do want to go to the
wanna
concert.
see-
I do want to go to the concert. Is
I
that
wanna
crazy?
go to the concert.
Yeah.
Let's all go to the concert.
I think we should go to the concert.
Well, then I think we should be pushing that Britney
And
join.
I think
'cause
Britney
wanna
should
see
join her for the
Britney
concert. Yeah.
No, okay, you're right. You're right.
Let's change it.
I think
I
anyone
would change
Madonna.
it.
I think
Yes.
Britney should go. We should
Yes.
go. I want to see whatever's happening there. I want to see it. Like, I mean, we got to see Madonna in concert. We got to
We
go.
have to. It's
When is the thing though? It got all just didn't.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, of the Bethany and Raquel thing. Now I've talked a lot about it. People are sick of me talking about it. I just want to say, just to clear a couple things up with the reality reckoning, and there again, we have yet to hear from one person that is part of this 60-person supposed lawsuit of trying to get out of their NDA so that then they can build a good case and sue NBC. I don't know who these people are. Certainly not Jax Taylor jumping out of his jacuzzi in the valley. Shut down the cameras. I'm joining B on the front lines of her Sag Harbor home. I don't think that's the case. I do, however, think, sure, there should be some type of thing like any company to be like, hey, how do we make it that you guys can get affordable health care when you're on our show or something, all that stuff. But what I just wanted, because I forgot that what Bethany was saying was like, they're plowed with alcohol, they're this or that and everything. And I agree with all that. But if we take all that away,
boring.
And they're not going on trips and nobody is sleep deprived and nobody is drinking and no one's on a trip and you're expected to take 2 weeks off if there's like a death in your family and you're not to film like you would if you were like, a secretary or a nurse or something, then these shows will not be good. No. And I do think that's part of her plan. So then a couple of years from now, she'll be like, well, back when I was on it, it was the golden era. Mm-hmm. Nobody's show was ever as highest rated as mine. I was the, Bravo darling. My Housewives was never as popular. Yeah, because like if we water this down, not that these people shouldn't have this, but I'm just saying that would be the result, that the stuff would not be real. Your real life is watching you have a heartbreak,
all of it.
Deal with something.
Yeah.
You just want to get compensated for it.
They should just be paid so that we can watch them get drunk and ruin their lives.
Right. You
they
go in.
Try to get, I think they definitely need more money, and I think they definitely need more. So I'm not saying some
That's
people
what
think
they
I'm
need.
not for it. I totally am, but I'm being realistic too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go.
Will a union be formed? I think that's a whole nother thing. Will a lawsuit be successful?
No.
I don't know that either one is going to happen anytime soon. In my opinion, just my opinion, not saying I don't want it, just my opinion.
They need to be compensated. It's like go into the show going like, I'm going to get drunk. I might have sex on camera. I might do some weird shit. I'm going to do anal in the bushes, whatever you're going to do. But you need to get compensated for it. And I think that if they do have a new contract, the one thing that needs to be removed is that whatever the network is doesn't get a piece of what you do live. They need to go ahead and suck a bag of dicks for that.
What do you mean, what live?
Because they get money for Luann's
I think
tour.
that the networks shouldn't get money for people's...
Are you sure about that?
No, I'm not sure about anything.
I'm not sure about that. I've not heard one person. One thing that Carol said to me about the Bethany clause is she's like, that would mean that they would have made money from my book sales. Nobody ever came after her and said, there was nothing in her contract that said the Bethany clause that she signed. And there was nothing that anywhere they said, oh, hi, we need to see your tax returns and see how much money you made off the book because we're going to take 15%. I've never heard anything of that, and they also if that was the case, then they would be making money off of Tom and Schwartz restaurant.
That's what Bethany said they are.
I don't think she's right.
Yeah, well, she could not be. We had heard on a separate occasion that Luann,
but I don't know. I don't know for a fact.
Was originally like demoted down to a friend so that she could have more time to do her cabaret show because they made money on the cabaret show.
I don't think that's true. I think she was demoted down to the friend just because that's what they offered her.
Yeah,
and then,
we would just have to find out.
Her life and her character and herself was so compelling that then the next year she was back to being a thing.
But then they did make Crappy Lake, which is a crappy show, and it is about a crappy cabaret show. So it does seem to me that they have a vested interest in that cabaret show, but I don't know. I mean, it rang true to me, but just with BravoCon and I
mean, even if it's in there, I just don't know that they follow up on it.
Yeah,
because it might be such a small amount.
Yeah,
that they were really only thinking if somebody, maybe they have something to do with Loverboy on Summer House. That seems to be, heavily part of the show. I don't know. I think it could be different for everybody.
Yeah.
I think maybe they go after the ones that are really big bucks. And if you're selling, earrings on your Etsy line, I don't know that they're coming after you for 12 cents because you had an Etsy earring party, on the final episode of Orange County.
I think if you launch and brand
do you
something
do
very
you
big
think-
on there, they're going to take the
Maybe.
money for it.
I mean, do you think that Gina from The Real House of OC, she had some skincare line that I think she forgot she had?
I doubt they came from Whitney Rose's wild rose whatever.
Yeah,
But what
I
about-
don't know. So I mean, yeah, they're coming after everything Meredith sells in her store. That's what I'm saying. Like when
No,
you
it's-
think
I
about
think-
it on a big, like you would need an entire team of forensic accountants to
I
then
think-
try to gather like money.
It's only if you invent and brand a product on the season. So
But
like
I still-
Skinny
but
Girl
still-
was invented and branded on Bravo.
Okay, but I still don't know if this is like an urban myth
Yeah.
that has been perpetuated by
Bethany.
she. Yeah,
Bethany.
like I really
Yeah.
don't know. And they right now, Bravo doesn't want to comment on any of it.
Yeah.
because they want this story to die, and
Yeah.
they don't want to give it any life. So there you go. Moving on. I've talked enough about it.
Interesting. Okay.
Morgan Wade shuts down Kyle Richards' relationship rumors. The internet is a dumb place.
Just because we take pictures with our tongues out on each other doesn't mean we're doing nothing. Why would anyone think that? Why would anyone think that we're doing anything? Okay? I don't know what you're looking at here or why there's something. This is just friendship. These are just friends.
She said,
are friends.
I never even watched hardly any reality TV. I sometimes watch 90 Day Fiance. And so Kyle and I were like, all the internet thinks this is going on. Let's give them what they're asking for. I'm like, oh, you don't think when you fucking Kyle Richards was having her sit on your lap and her being like, and,
Yep.
you know, and you being like these weird, like cryptic poses, like working out, like with your girlfriend, like you were not dropping the crumbs for the Bravo
Yeah.
fans to
For
be
the
like,
dumb
what's
internet.
the two of them do? Whether they were doing anything together or not,
not.
you set the stage, and
You were provocative. You were provocative. At the end of the day, they were provocative. They were. So whether it's real or not, it's like wouldn't begrudge anyone from doing whatever.
Is it gay baiting?
Yes,
100%.
It is gay baiting. Of course it is.
And for those
Of course
that can't
it is.
figure it out, it's like trying to gain attention and allies and everything else, pretending that you're more gay than you are.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
who knows what's going on, whatever. It's I mean, it's not against the law.
Right.
You're not a criminal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, go do you and be provocative, but then don't pretend that you're not doing what you're doing.
Right.
Like, that's where I'm irritated. I'm like, you're doing it.
So,
Come on.
Is Kyle mad at you for Watch What Happens Live?
No, I don't think she cares. Jeff got all the attention from that comment. Jeff is the one who said it. That's the one. I was like a mere green memory sitting there, like
Green
no,
memory.
No, but I think she is more angry about the Ozempic comment than the lesbian comment, because I do think for the one, I do have one friend that has actually lost weight this year. Significant, and her weight has gone up and down since college, between babies, whatever. Always kind of struggled with it. She did Lindora, she did other things that were like popular at the time,
My mom did Lindora.
and she's like, oh my god, like everyone thinks I did Ozempic, and I literally really didn't. Same with like Ross Matthews, not Ozempic, but like, it's kind of a shitty time if you've actually lost weight.
Yeah, don't lose
Like,
weight
if
now.
you've actually like accomplished something in your life and changed your mindset, and because she couldn't go on it, my friend, like health wise, and I'm like, well, so I do kind of think she may have not, and that's like the thing that she's most angry about.
Your Honor, I object. Now,
All right.
with Ross, I will say this with Ross. This is how I look at it.
Well, he's been losing weight for like 4 years.
Yeah,
so
and Ross
he was on the path.
And Ross had lost weight before, when he had that whole thing with Gwyneth Paltrow. When Gwyneth Paltrow hurt his feelings, they were like very close. And Gwyneth Paltrow told him he's like getting like heavy again or something. And he was like, okay, hit your guts now. I'm just paraphrasing that, but he did get offended, and he lost weight. We have already seen Ross lose a significant amount of weight and get very healthy pre-Ozempic.
Right.
So I would 100% believe if he says he's not on Ozempic, he isn't,
Right.
because we've seen him do that before. We have never in our lives, since I've been watching Kyle since she's 5 years old and Watch Her in the Woods with Betty Davis. I know what her body looks
So
like,
good.
okay?
So good.
I know exactly what her body looks like all
God,
through her
that movie
teenage
is so
years,
good.
all through her early 20s, all through her 30s, her 40s, and now into her 50s. I know exactly what her body looks like, and no, that is not something that she's ever been able to achieve. She's, and I'm super happy for her. She's like so happy. She's so thinner than she's ever been, and she's like living, and it's like great. Like,
I love that you bring up Betty Davis because I remember where I was when I realized something. I remember the bedroom I was in.
Me too.
I remember what it was. And it was when I realized early seasons of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills that the dynamic between Kim Richards and Kyle Richards was whatever happened to Baby Jane.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. The blonde who was the star was Betty Davis. Kim Richards, she was the bigger star and everything. But then later in life, she got a little boozy. And her sister, Kyle Richards, became the big star. And then she got jealous and put her in a wheelchair. But if you've ever seen that movie, it's
course.
so, and I'm writing a letter to Daddy. Yeah.
So good.
And I remember I wrote that like on a tweet, and I'm like, I know only like gay men over 55 are going to even appreciate this. And that is exactly what came back. And they were like, oh my God, yes. Let me tell you some things. Farrah allegedly has called off her engagement. This is coming from Face Reality 16. They're on this. And said they've been told that it's been over since April. She's not wearing her ring. I had heard this. Farrah is her daughter with her first husband, but she's, featured in Mauricio's Buying Beverly Hills show. And she had an engagement on the first season. The second season's coming back. And I had heard that, rumblings about him being a cheater, her fiance, allegedly.
Oh, that's too bad.
But anyway, supposedly they're not engaged. They're all on a yacht together. And the other thing that's going on from the same, Demois or whoever's coming in with it, allegedly Mauricio is prancing around Italy and saying, I'm very much single.
oh.
And I have also heard from two other sources that know the marriage between Kyle and Mauricio is definitely over. Now, will they really get divorced, or do they? I mean, heck, if you're on vacation together and you have businesses together and you're not fingering Morgan Wade, I don't know why you'd bother getting divorced. Like, why don't you just roll it out if you can, if you're okay? Unless
he's in Italy.
No, they're all in Italy together.
Oh, Kyle's there too?
Yeah, they're all together having a family vacation on a yacht.
But he's saying he's single when he goes off the yacht.
Allegedly.
Would you want to stay if he was getting with Italian women off the yacht, or you wouldn't care?
No, I mean, I don't know. But from what I I recently heard that no, they will go through with it. But I still think they might not get divorced. I still think they might not, because I think they'll just be like, until one of them really like falls in love and like wants to be with somebody else. But in the meantime, I think they can kind of just like live their separate lives and kind of have fun. But I've also heard it's
That's
been
a lot.
over for a long time. I also feel there's been rumors about him forever.
Well, maybe now that she's gay, she doesn't care.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I know you're not gay, Kyle.
we've heard so many rumors about him forever and ever. Just kind of a bummer that
and
they're
playing
breaking
both
up.
sides,
Yeah,
both teams.
that's too
I've heard.
bad.
You've
Oh,
heard
you
too.
have?
Mauricio?
Just rumors.
Oh, that's hot.
Well, if we're all doing everything,
Yeah, maybe if
then
they're both being gay, then rock
yeah,
it.
then
Yeah.
who cares? Then we can be friends.
But I do feel sad.
Who knows? The
about
good
it.
news is they too, just like Selling Sunset and messing around with tattooed lesbians, they also have their show Buying Beverly Hills, just like Selling Sunset. A lot of
yeah,
similarities.
maybe they're keeping it tight. Just
This millionaire banker blasted his fiance with cheating allegations during the engagement party. They had an engagement party. The girl thinks she's marrying a billionaire. And he was like, hi, thank you everybody for coming. We're so excited to go on our trip. And you can go with your lover. Like literally, and everyone's like, what? So yeah, that's what happened. A millionaire banker has been caught on camera accusing his his fiance of being a cheater at their glitzy engagement party in northern Italy.
That's pretty iconic.
I mean, I love
Why can't I get
There's
invited to
been
an engagement
so-
party in Italy where that goes
everybody
down?
was just dumbfounded and was like, what the hell? And then it was like, I think it's amazing because, like, if you're this billionaire and here you thought this girl was really for you. And by the way, no Lauren Sanchez. Okay, this girl, no offense, she's a fine-looking person, but she's not. So he's probably like, oh my God, here I am marrying someone who's on my level of cuteness, even though I have $1 billion.
Yeah.
And this freaking bitch is screwing someone, but I think she's being like, oh my God, I didn't, you know? But
She looks cute in that
she
pic.
she looks a little cuter there. But anyway, she's saying, I don't know what she's saying, but that's the story. I've never been to a wedding that, you know, has
Yeah.
been canceled
Yeah.
the night before or
Neither.
some big dramatic moment or like that song. What's that song that's about walking in on, you know, that wedding song that's like I can't gonna hurt you. God,
The Runaway Bride.
yeah, like, and it's like, couldn't you at least have the courtesy to shut the door? Like, it's about like a groom who like walks in on his girlfriend or wife,
Oh.
fucking the best man.
I
Like-
mean, I've never been to any event where anything exciting
Oh my
happens.
God, I just remembered one.
What?
I was friends with a girl who was an actress, actually Rosa Blasi. She's an actress. She's happily remarried. She wrote a book about it. And her husband, she found out, I don't think she knew at the time. She found out later on that her bridesmaid slept with the husband the night of the wedding.
The
night of the wedding.
Or the bachelor party. Was
No,
it the wedding?
night of the wedding.
Oh, wow.
Full-blown night of the wedding. And somehow
my
I can't
God.
remember. The book is called Jock Itch. Get it? And it was something,
Jesus.
it definitely was true. And he was like a professional, like football or baseball player. And like he, you know, everyone's wasted and he scrambled like best, like bridesmaid, maid of honor.
Awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
I just thought this was kind of great. This came from this website or Instagram called Facts. I couldn't believe it.
Whoa.
Tom Cruise, all of his ex-wives, he divorced when they turned 33. Mimi Rogers was older than he, so he divorced her when she was 33. Then he divorced Nicole Kidman when she was 33. Katie Holmes, he divorced when they were 33, and each is 11 years younger than the last. So right now, his current ex-wives are 66, 55, and Katie is 44.
Wow.
And that's Jesus'
So
age, right? When he died, 33.
Yes, at 33. So at this rate, his next wife will have to be 33. It'll be a short
Yeah.
wedding.
Yeah.
He'll have to divorce her that
wonder-
same year.
Or
Maybe
she can be 30 and he can stay with her for
No, he has 11 years younger.
Oh.
Each
you're
is
right.
11 years.
He's
It's
got to
a
get in
weird-
and get out.
It's a weird Scientology math problem.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so the current wife, if he wants to keep this streak going, you just do a quickie marriage, Vegas, 33-year-old, and divorce.
I was watching Real Housewives of New York, the new one, and there's this new, well, they're all new, but this woman named Jessel, and she's talking to her husband how she wants him to pay all this money. They have twins, $65,000 each, to go to preschool or whatever at some school, and they're trying to fill out their form about how great they are. And by the way, I don't think she's that smart because she was like, my children are socially inept. And he's like, I don't think that's a good thing. She's like, no, that's a good And then they had to look it up. But anyway, one other thing she said was, we have to go to this school. I mean, this is where Tom Cruise sends his kids to school. I mean, don't you want to associate with those people? I'm like, Tom Cruise hasn't seen Surrey in like 12 years. You're not going to run into Tom Cruise. And that's not the reason you should ever go to a school.
And don't you think, doesn't she know where she's been living? That Tom Cruise's kids go to Scientology school.
Do you think
No,
that
not anymore, though.
No, but that's just because they're older.
Yeah, no, but Surrey, I think, went there once they left Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
But then Tom Cruise never
No.
has seen her in years and years. And now she's like 16 and like driving.
Which is so crazy.
You know how people have bumper stickers on their cars, like "Mom of Honor Child" or
Yes,
whatever?
yeah.
Do you think that she would have like "Mom of Inept Children" and think that like she's doing something amazing?
Mom of socially inept children?
Yeah, Mom of Inepts.
Yeah.
Just and think that she's like, yep, mm-hmm. Yeah. We haven't watched that show, so I don't know.
Okay, so that was just for fun. Princess Charlene of Monaco is reportedly living in Switzerland and only seeing her husband, Prince Albert, by appointment.
Albert the pedophile?
Is he a pedophile too?
Or is he Prince Albert? Is that Albert of England
That's
or Albert
Andrew.
of? Oh,
Yeah,
Andrew.
Andrew.
Andrew. Excuse me.
I love Heather. Is he a pedophile?
I don't even know. I don't even know why I put this in here. I just think.
I wish we could
Is
go to
it
Switzerland.
really? I mean, look at him. Are you really bummed that you have to just meet him by appointment?
There was
Oh, I can't spend more time with you.
There was
It's like
some-
I'm a princess. Let me just go shop around. I don't need to like tickle your bald head if like you don't want to see me. Who cares?
I thought there was one of these stories where she kind of went, I don't know if it's this couple though, where she kind of went missing and left their like 4 kids with him.
Oh, that's right. There is something juicy about this.
Yeah, and so she's in Switzerland, but the kids it's like she's gone, and no one's sure if she like. I'm not sure if it's this Charlene. I feel like it is though.
And Albert is the son of Princess Grace.
Yes,
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
and she just kind of like disappeared and left the children. So you're kind of like
There was a time when he was kind of like the hot. I remember in like People magazine all the time. Like he was like the Leonardo DiCaprio of his time. Like who is he dating? Who is he going to marry? Like he always had a hot young thing because it was like Prince of Monaco and he was kind of fun and like yeah. Let's talk about Kanye's wife. So apparently, Italy wants to like arrest her for indecent exposure.
Yeah, I'm, like, living for
She
this
is
story.
forced to wear right now her hair is black. It's slicked down with like oil from the car on her head. Meanwhile, Kanye is all dressed up in 12 layers of clothes. Where there's another story about that. According to Radar, this is serious stench. Kanye West's wife Bianca turned off by ex-billionaire's hygiene, sources claim. Kanye West's choice of fashion, which involves wearing heavy layers, even in summer, is reportedly affecting his hygiene and becoming a significant concern to his new wife Bianca. Sources claim that the smell becomes particularly pronounced when he takes off these layers.
Oh.
His previous wife, Kim Kardashian, also allegedly had issues with his hygiene. Additionally, Kanye is currently facing issues related to his... Okay, these are the things. But I just want to say, he's walking around barefoot. That was like last week.
No.
He made her go barefoot. Then he put her in these see-through nylon things, and she's forced to do that.
Do you think he puts her in that?
Yes, totally. And then she has like these weird... Look what she's wearing.
The
Look at her butt. And she's
Look at her
wearing just like
shoes.
nude nylons. And then she has these weird white pumps on that look like the heel's about to break. She has a full nip out. And so Italy is a more conservative country as it is. And then he's dressed. Look, he has no shoes on, but he has socks.
And they're at a vending machine. They're at a vending machine.
What does he
called
have over
status. I don't know.
What is the deal?
And people were like looking into her, and they're like, "Oh my God, look what she used to look like. She was pretty. She had friends. She went to school."
What does he got? What does he have?
I
what is
assume
it? What is it about him?
she was choosing her own outfits with this story. I didn't know.
No,
he was
like here's
insisting.
another one. She's wearing white tights and a G-string with the same weird white pumps.
Those
and she's just
pumps
having
are
to
not
walk
it.
around like that. Like I just imagine, like, what are we doing today, Master?
Why?
Okay,
Really?
we're gonna walk around Italy. So put on your nylons. Can I put anything over? No.
You know what's weird about it too is that he's dressed like, for example, like, you know, a woman who wears like a full burqa.
Yes, that's what he's
or
doing. He's wearing the male
He's
burqa.
doing that,
Yeah.
but he's making her be completely.
And it's so weird
It's so
because when he was
bizarre.
going through his original super Christian stage, there's a classic scene between he and Kim when they were still married, and she was going to the Met, and she was wearing that gold, and she wore her hair wet. It was supposed to look like she just walked out of water, and she had the tiny waist. She wasn't as thin as she was when she went with Pete Davidson, but she was, always thin, tiny waist, dripping wet, and he's like, I don't think you should be wearing that. Like, you're a mother of 4. And she's like, hey, I appreciate you're going through like Christian journey or whatever, but like don't tell me the night before you knew I was wearing this. We discussed it, and now you're like putting me in a bad mood. It's not like I get a new outfit at Nordstrom. We're going to the Met Ball tomorrow. Like, and I always remember just being like, that was a very real scene of like a couple that is not going to make it. Like they were completely into it, and I could understand her frustration of being like, you dressed me, you were into this stuff, and now you're acting like you're. And then meanwhile, now he's super conservative and making the new wife walk around Italy with her butthole hanging out and her nips
her
showing.
pepperoni nipples rocking
It's
out.
so weird. Like, look at this.
What the hell?
Wait, hold on. Sorry, I don't
And
know.
then they're walking all around, and the people and like.
And then she has to
Vatican
wear
City and shit are like, no.
nylons on her head, so she looks like a walking condom.
What is he? What? I just don't even get
Yeah,
it.
why is he?
don't
Why is
get
she
it.
tying old
nylons
on her head? That is what.
I mean, they're
Nude
insane. And then
nylons.
like really, and then you have to, and then it's like, hey, little saint, at your soccer game today at Hidden Hills, your dad and your stepmom Bianca are going to show up with the orange slices.
I mean,
And here comes her in these weird heels walking through the grass. And I mean, ugh. I
Wow,
mean,
that
geez.
is a nightmare.
Just when you get married, just also imagine what they'll be like as an ex-husband. That's a very important thing, especially if you're going to have kids. If you don't have kids, it's a clean getaway,
That's right.
or a cleaner getaway. How do you feel about Lizzo, and what do you think is going to happen with her future? To remind people, Lizzo's dancers were not happy because she fat-shamed them, and she made them work too hard, and she humiliated them, and then she took them to a sex show in Amsterdam, and where the girls would put bananas in themselves, and then she would say, take the banana out or eat the banana like with the spaghetti, like the Lady and the Tramp.
yeah.
You mean like they would put one in one mouth and one mouth in another, and then
No,
the
they
two
put
would
it
come
in their-
together?
Yeah, so then you put it in your
Veg,
vagina and
uh-huh.
then be like that, and then the person would have to come up
Oh,
and
would
eat
eat
the
it.
banana.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I just
after
wouldn't want it-
after you worked a long
Yeah.
Right.
show.
Right.
Also, I'm out. I'm drinking. I don't really want a banana
It's like
right now.
No,
You know what I mean? Like that's the snack I have to have out of your vagina, a banana. It's just like, oh, can we just?
But what
put-
do we think is going on with her and her future? Because Beyonce gave her a shout out.
Oh, she needs to take accountability. She needs to take accountability.
I mean, listen,
She
we
needs
are
to.
involved in a
It's
in,
hard
in
to
a
say.
work drama
Yes.
where
Allegations.
not all parties agree on the truth.
facts. Mhm.
And have been accused of I don't.
I think if the Michael Jackson musical is a hit and people go, I think she's going to be able to come back just fine. I just think she's got to go away for like a little bit and then just come back with new music and just. I think that's what's going to happen.
I think she needs to stop treating people like shit.
No,
I think,
she did need to do that.
Yeah, I think it was
But I
always
also-
clear that she was a bitch.
I also
She
feel
just
like
said
they're just
she's a
trying to
bitch.
like keep this like keep
Yeah.
it low, even though she got the Marty Singer. Have people forget this happened. Come out with a song.
Hopefully she
Like,
comes back and learns how to treat people differently.
Definitely.
Yeah,
If she
and she should
doesn't,
pay them.
and she should pay them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, don't be
But,
a fucking bitch.
There you go. Fyre Fest.
Fire.
Fest. Sorry. Fyre Fest. He is back. He's out of jail. This is Billy McFarland. As you remember, this is where all the models got paid to say come to the festival, even though they had no intention of coming. All these young people went. They were promised sushi and gourmet food. They got this sandwich with the cheese. People wrote about it. It was
There's 2 documentaries about it.
so many documentaries about it. Also, I'm also looking forward to a documentary about something I'm not already aware of. Like, I don't need to see Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Covered that.
No.
Don't need to see the Kim and Kanye divorce. Covered that. Don't need to see when Tinsley Mortimer was an it girl in the 2000s.
Why is there nothing to watch right now?
I
Where's
mean,
all
like,
our
come
docs,
on,
man?
Give me a good doc.
Yeah.
Like,
It's nothing good.
yeah.
Nothing good.
Anyway,
Also, I
this
hope
is-
they all. I'm sorry. Would you spend money on the Fyre Fest, which we did just
go
saw
back
2
again?
documentaries that he literally did that?
Yes, I think it's going to be. Listen, I think people will go.
What's it going to be?
I think people will go just for the story.
Yeah.
If it's great, it's go. If it's bad, their content creators will go buy a ticket and be like, I just want to document it and make my own documentary,
Yeah.
or gain a bunch of TikTok followers when I say, okay, you guys are going to Fire Festival. And it probably won't be a flop. It'll probably be okay this time.
And he lost a bunch of weight in prison, and he is really feeling himself.
Again,
Billy.
he's like, it wasn't Ozempic.
Yeah.
I was in.
That's right. I was stuck in jail.
Yeah, goddamn, I come out, now everybody's skinny. I thought I was going to look freaking hot. Speaking of being skinny, Heidi Klum, someone said, how do you stay so thin, Heidi Klum? And she said 900 calories a day, and which freaked out people.
Wow.
But that's tracks.
Yeah.
You gotta
You
really starve
literally-
yourself.
It's when you start getting older. I mean, listen, you get to have a raisin a day, especially if you want a glass of wine. That's it. That's just the truth. People always ask me. I'm like, it's not healthy, but that's what's up. Like, you can't eat.
you have a raisin a day?
Yeah, and then a lot of vodka. But you know, if you don't have vodka or wine, if you don't drink, you can eat a little more. But you know, and it was I learned it from Elizabeth Hurley. She's the one who said she drinks her calories and she eats very little. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, it becomes harder and harder to, I don't know. And Heidi Klum's pretty tall, but yeah, I mean, I 100% believe she does 900
And then
calories
some of
a
the
day.
comments were so funny.
tomatoes and this other plate of fruit. I love it.
Pack your knives and go.
I love to eat tomatoes. Whole we have this in Germany. We have a whole plate of tomatoes. And then we eat
What is that?
then we eat
That's fruit.
a blueberry and kiwi salad. But that's it. I don't eat any more than that.
And besides her being a model, she is the greatest judge of stand-up comedy ever. When you watch America's Got Talent,
Yeah, she is.
I love hearing notes from her.
Very
And
important.
especially when they get people that are literally have been doing comedy for 20 years, but they're just like, hey, want to come on the show? And then people are like, sure, fine. And then they do the set, and she's like, I think that you are so funny. The story about you going to walk your dog. I have dogs. It's so relatable. You're like, it's not a good impression, but whatever.
No, it was good.
Who cares? Okay, I want to ask you this question. This dying wife asked her husband if this was just like on some site or something.
This can't be real.
No, maybe it's not a real story, but it is good. Okay,
But it's a good story.
dying
to
wife
discuss.
asked her husband, her last wish, her make-a-wish, okay, is to bone an ex.
Oh, she asked the current husband.
Yeah, would you mind? I'm going to die. Can I bone this ex?
Here's my answer.
Yeah.
Kill yourself. Kill yourself now. Goodbye. Goodbye. Kill yourself.
Can you imagine? You're like,
No.
oh, well, is it before or after I clean out your bedpan? Yeah. Do I have to get cute? What do you imagine if you're like, and can you also blow out my hair? Because I'm meeting my ex, and I need you to give me a sponge bath.
Yeah.
I need you to shave my pubes. I need you to light some candles and blow out my hair, and then open the door for my ex-boyfriend because his dick was better than yours, and
I've been thinking about him every night since we've been together. I only
I
have
think
ever
that's about
wanted
the
to be with
meanest thing
him.
you could tell a caregiver.
I can't even deal with it.
I can't
At
imagine.
first
I can't even deal with
I can't
it.
imagine though, like being terminally ill and being like, you know what I want? My ex-boyfriend. One last time with him.
Well,
absolutely not.
I always thought it was like really. I remember when Melissa Etheridge had cancer, and right after she recovered, she broke up with her wife at the time.
Tammy Lynn.
We smoked that cancer pot and we got violently too high at Melissa Etheridge's home.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You went to her home.
Yes.
And she had cancer pot. Is this before pot was legal or right around the time that
No, it was illegal.
it's illegal?
And but it was medicinal marijuana was legal and she had plenty of it and it was very strong and it was for cancer patients
And so she was still with her wife at the time.
who invited us over.
But I do think it's always interesting because I always think it's like, it's always like, oh my God, it's such a beautiful story. This person recovered from cancer and their spouse. But I feel like just as many times as it brings a couple closer, it will also breaks them apart for two reasons. One, either the cancer victim feels that, wow, like you really didn't step up, or thanks for stepping up, but life is short and I want to live it without you. I think it's like such a weird thing. And so there was a podcast that I interviewed the host of it. It was called Dying for Sex. It's going to be a TV show. And it was about this girl who was married, but maybe didn't really honestly have that great of a marriage, but was married and was terminal. And she did be like, sorry, husband, like, just go away. And because I haven't had a lot of great sex in my life, and I want to have all the sex. I want to have the gay sex, the threesome sets, meet a hot guy,
Random
every
sex.
fantasy. I want to have like every single thing that I have not done.
I think that just shows that person's just not in love with the person that they're with.
Well,
I think if
obviously,
you're
yeah,
in
yeah.
love with the person you're with, you just think that I want all my time with you, I want all my time with you, and all my
And
time
not
with you.
thinking about
I
the
wouldn't even be
orgasms that you haven't had.
Right.
You wouldn't be thinking about anything else.
Yeah.
So
But
I
now
don't really want a sex swing where someone then beats me with a whip. I never had that
I mean,
before.
I believe in heaven, so at that point, I'd be like,
doing it in heaven.
I'm not going to screw up my scorecard at this point to go be a big hoe.
Yeah, with
No.
Because then I could spend the rest of my life in purgatory or in hell. I'd rather just leave an exemplary life like I've been doing. And if we all are dust in the wind, that's the gamble I'm worth taking. But I guess if
Yeah.
you don't believe that there's any kind of morality, and if it doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter that you're hurting your spouse, or maybe your spouse is like, hey, I was never in love with you either. Like, go.
Yeah,
Go
what
get
if
your
you
dick on? Go.
seriously.
What if you were be able to be honest and you'd be like, I'm terminal, I'm not in love with you, and let's break up, and then you wouldn't even have to tell that person what you're doing. You just break up, and then
Yeah.
you go and live your best, I guess,
Maybe she
threesome
did.
life.
I don't remember. You can look it up. It's
I mean,
it's
And then did
there's
she
nothing wrong with
podcast.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I was just curious if she, at that point too, like if your point to like heaven or, like the karmic cycle or whatever, it's like, I don't know where she's this woman or, what she looks like or what her deal is, but I don't know where she's going to find all these different willing dicks. It's like, you're going to end up with married men is what you're going to end up with.
Yeah,
so you
that's
aren't going to,
true.
your karmic cycle is going to hurt
Good
because
point.
those are the ones who are going to be
True.
ready to do this crap unless
point.
you're off with sex workers, which, okay, but like there aren't that many, like, you know.
I mean, when was the last time we saw an episode of that Emmy Award winning
Yeah.
show? Gigolo.
It was during People's Couch, and that was
Gigolo
Oh,
was
yeah.
on
Oh,
Showtime.
my God.
What a golden
Yeah.
era.
Wow.
And what was that blonde-haired guy? God, we used to do clips from that for Chelsea lately, too, because
Yeah.
it was just... And I would watch it. I mean, Showtime was essentially my porn, because there was...
the Cat House one.
Queer as Folk on Showtime. There was
yeah.
the L Word.
Right.
There was Cat House HBO with
Oh,
Airplane Annie.
I thought that was a Showtime, but what? Maybe
I
it
don't
was
know.
HBO.
And then there was the Gigolo show,
Yeah.
which was about male hookers living in Las Vegas. And somebody I know knew one of the showrunners, and I was like, wait a minute, like these girls are just willing to, they're basically doing a porn,
yeah.
except for Showtime. And you know what? I know someone who's, I got you beat. We know. Listen, Garagos
Yeah.
and Bethany, go find the women that screwed the
Yeah.
gigolos from
Seriously.
2010 on the classic. Like, how far back are they going to find these people for, like, this class action lawsuit?
It's a good point.
That's a great one, though.
Rock of Love,
Ooh.
Flavor of Love.
Bad girls.
I think the thing with those aren't going to be as effective because what she's really upset about is them then taking it into streaming. Now, if Rock of Love has a resurgence of all those old episodes,
Oh, they will.
then
they
that's
will.
when they go jump on the thing.
Yeah.
Jump on the class action because
did
now
just-
they're
I
not going to
did
get any
just-
compensation.
I just got a check of how many times White Chicks was played in Germany and Spain.
Ooh.
And it was so many times. And it was $10.38.
Yes.
So all I'm saying
Yeah,
is,
I mean-
union or not,
Yep.
even if someone's enjoying a show that you did 10 years ago, it's not going to be enough to live on today. Unless you were friends and you were making $1 million. But even
Right.
then, they negotiated that for themselves because they knew it might be their one and only time to hit a top.
And a syndicated show is different than, I mean,
which I don't even know if those exist anymore.
I guess
okay.
not.
I wanted to let you know that this awful person, that I thought this would make you happy, he is going to prison because not only did he kill wild animals, but he also killed his wife.
Whoa.
And he made it look like she accidentally shot herself while she was packing her gun after an African safari.
Bye, Larry.
So she was like, I
Hold
need a
on, I'm gonna
girlfriend.
pack
I
my
need a
gun.
girlfriend already. And it was like he made it look like as she was putting it in the carry-on suitcase or whatever you do with a rifle, I don't know, that then it shot her. And so it was, yes, she was shot, but it was accidental. And it took years. This is 2016. But he is going to prison forever.
How did they ever prove it? Any idea? I'd watch this documentary to see how they proved
I know.
that.
I mean, I guess
couldn't even
some
watch it.
type of like, the line of the gunpowder, all that kind of stuff. And I think probably would have been hard because it wasn't, I think in Africa where is that
Well, apparently they were
Zambia?
both. They were
Hunting-
Zambia.
While they were
Apparently-
on a hunting trip in Zambia, he was sentenced to life in prison on Monday with multiple news outlets.
Well, she was on the hunting trip too, so bye, bitch.
yeah,
Sorry.
12 gauge. Yeah.
Bye. Oh God.
A little update on this. I really don't even know what's going on with this Jonah Hill. The Jonah Hill, he had the girlfriend who was the surfer who said, "Can you please stop wearing bathing suits when you surf and talking to people in the ocean, unless they are a shark?"
Stop talking to people in the ocean. You always flirt with people in the ocean.
And then now now her name's Sarah Brady, and she now claims that she was hospitalized on an involuntary mental hold and treated like a street dog just weeks after accusing the actor of emotional abuse.
So what? Someone came through and picked her up and an involuntary mental hold.
So it's not making her case look very good
No,
now.
and it never
it's
did.
not.
But we
She never
did
looks mentally
have the receipts, as the housewives would say, of their conversation. But the defenders of Jonah Hill were like, "Hey, he's saying these are my boundaries. I don't like it if you're posting photos or wearing this or when I'm not around, and I don't like you hanging out with other guys. And if you don't like it, you can go." Other people were saying nobody should ever be able to say that to you. I do believe, whatever. So that is, now people are saying, well, now we really are pro Jonah Hill because
she's a crazy bitch. she's a gold digging thirst bucket that came in and was parading around and driving him crazy. And listen, I'm not some Jonah Hill fan, but I definitely thought it was very classless that she put those receipts out. And now she's being treated like a street dog on some involuntary mental hold. I mean, she's constantly the victim of something.
Yes, and also, I want to just get this out. Whoopi Goldberg addresses her sexuality after Raven-Symoné says she gives lesbian vibes. I agree. I think we all agree.
I think the world agrees.
She, along with Pink,
Yep.
and I know some people are very controversial, but another one of mine is Kelly Clarkson.
It's a good one.
For just future women that I think would be happy to be with women, but
Alicia Keys is top of my list.
okay.
Yep.
I don't know.
The one lesbian has no gaydar. Okay.
I'm very bad at it, but also it's so annoying. But Whoopi Goldberg, by the way,
Yes.
I don't know if she came on a lesbian cruise that I worked on.
Okay.
And she performed. And
How was the stand-up as good as Shay Diaz's?
You mean Julie's?
the thing is with Whoopi Goldberg is that she pretends as though she doesn't understand why lesbians think she's a lesbian. And this was at the show even. So she's acting like, I can't believe, like, I'm doing these cruises and just all these lesbians. I don't know why, thank you for having me here, but I don't know why y'all think that and it's like, you don't know why. You think we all think, listen, we love Whoopi. Whoopi's a national treasure.
Yeah.
But, bitch, come on.
I
Again.
definitely don't think she's actively a lesbian because I honestly think she's too lazy and tired. I really do. She talks about how tired and lazy she is all the time.
Yeah.
She has said, the only reason I'm doing this show is because it's a check.
Yeah.
I mean,
gotten
like
with-
I think she's good on the show. I enjoy her, but anyway, she said she clarified that while she isn't a lesbian, she has many lesbian friends, like Julie Goldman, and has portrayed lesbian characters on TV. She said Raven-Symoné shared her own feelings of attraction towards Goldberg
Oh.
when they worked together on The View, and the conversation was lighthearted. Anyway, yeah.
I mean, Whoopi Goldberg has historically gotten with, she's gotten with famous men. Ted Danson,
Ted
Frank
Danson,
Langella.
and Ted Danson. That was another thing that wasn't a great career move, along with Raquel going on Bethany's podcast, was how fun the two of them thought it would be, since they were an interracial couple, for him to go in blackface
yeah.
to the Friars Club.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, not a
you know,
good choice.
well, sometimes you just, and it's always, there's certain people throughout history where, you know, whether it's Kathy Griffin when she thought this will really be a big hit.
Oh,
Yeah.
with the
to
Trump
take
head.
to the Trump bloody head, and she went to
Yeah.
bed that night and she just couldn't wake. And just so excited to wake up the next morning, like, oh, the world's going to be on my side, and this is going to be the greatest. And it was a big flop. And the only time I had that big of a flop of really misjudging how something's going to land was in my sorority house. We, in a sorority house back in the 90s, people would have thought everybody was anorexic or bulimic. And there were these
Sure.
rumors, the DGs every year urban myths, every year they have to redo their pipes or whatever.
Because of all the vomit going
Of
down
all
the
the
pipe.
vomiting, of all the vomiting. So I was like, clearly not everybody is a bulimic. I really didn't think everybody was bulimic.
Yeah,
and,
some of
you know,
us are anorexic.
or not, or whatever, you know. So anyway, we went to Mexico on spring break, and we're at a restaurant or whatever, and just like how they have the photo, the like bodies walking across the street or running, like two people trying to cross the border. You know how there's this like watch for like a mom and her kid running across the street or crossing the street with an X. Don't watch for them.
Yeah.
We go to this bar, and there's all these things of a figure like that of a girl puking. Don't puke in this toilet. Well, I thought that was the funniest thing I'd ever seen in my life. And I took a photo of it. And the next, shaking. Now, I'm not a comedian, but this is my senior year of college, and I literally was like, every Friday I'd, wake up and we'd recap the Thursday night, and I was like, how do I make this a career, And it took a long time to get there, but I was like, how do I make this career of just recapping and making fun of things? So I went to the 1 hour photo, and I printed out the photo, and then I went to the Kinko's, and I made all these flyers. And then I woke up very early or at night, and I put them in all the bathrooms so that when you would go to the bathroom, if you were to puke, you would see it facing don't puke. Not if you were going to go sit, only if you puke. And I went to bed like Rachel and Bethany or Goldie, Whoopi Goldberg or Ted Danson. Or, Kathy Griffin and her, after her photo shoot. Just tingling with excitement. I woke up the next morning, and I come down to breakfast. And I'm like, and these girls are so horrified. And they're like, it's fucking disgusting. Like, who the fuck is making fun of an eating disorder? Like, who would do this? This is awful. Now, I had only shared with, 3 girls. And I'm like, I know, it's absolutely terrible. And I go running up the stairs, and I shut the door, and I'm like, we take it to the grave! Don't tell anybody! This is not funny! People actually have eating disorders, and this is not fucking funny. So.
Did they take it to the grave?
Well, they took it to the grave. I eventually shared it, in my book, I think, or I've said it on this show before.
No, but you never told when you were still there.
While we were there, nobody knew. Nobody knew. And so I'm just saying.
So has anyone ever brought it up? Like, Heather, I can't believe that was you that did that. Later.
We've talked about, jokingly talked about things that But no, I mean, yes,
Well, you yourself.
Comedy is not evergreen. Comedy is not evergreen. And something that might have been funny or something that you might have thought is funny. Truly, when people say, I did not intend to hurt someone's feelings with a joke, truly, 99% of the time that is true.
Well, you were not bulimic, so you didn't think anyone else was bulimic. You thought it was just
I thought
stupid
there
urban legend.
might have been people, but I thought it was like, oh, you know,
That they could have a
like
laugh at it?
everybody, like, come on, you know, like, stop being so dramatic.
Like,
yeah, like there's rumors of like, and then there were rumors like, well, people, you know, throw up in bags and they go behind this building, and like there was all these like urban of like how bad it had gotten. Maybe it was. I don't
Yeah.
know. I see those same girls now. They had kids. They're at the games. They look okay.
Yeah, doing Ozempic.
But maybe there were people. I don't know. You know, I'm sure it existed.
And by the way, it was really just a warning sign that the.
I mean, I don't know. Even if you had bulimia, it could still be funny. I mean, am I crazy? I don't know.
Well,
yeah, I'm
maybe
going to throw up, and I see a sign, and I throw up anyway. I don't know.
Girls,
Maybe it's me.
when you have your one raisin tonight,
Yes.
Yeah.
and when somebody else might be having an actual meal,
Me.
and they want to enjoy a little more Brandy and Julie for themselves. How can they get in on the fun that everyone's talking about?
They can go to julieandbrandy.com, Brandy with a Y. And all of our podcasts are listed there. We are encouraging people to go to our Patreon podcast where we can be free to be ourselves.
And we just do fun things. We don't do we're not like a specific thing, right?
Yeah.
We do weird shit, our trips and our adventures and nothing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Songs.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I have my Patreon, which is going to drop Friday, in which I'll tell you what I really think of Brandy and Julie. And if you want to get the real
Good.
scoop,
Yeah.
Get it.
right when the door shuts, I'm going to turn on the recorder.
Yeah.
No. Of course, I always talk about things that are more personal on there, and as well as just extra content. And so that's at heathermcdonald.net. And just everybody, of course, you'll be back soon, and love
Yep.
you, and we'll go
Love
out and
you.
have fun, and everything will be fabulous.
Let's just go out, have a cocktail, and shake it off, and get back to.
Shake it off. Shake
That's
it
right.
off.
Just like Taylor Swift.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're gonna make lemonade.
You're going to make some lemonade.
And we're gonna shake it off.
Oh,
We're
speaking
gonna
of
shake it off.
lemonade, I do have one last scoop I forgot to tell you. I heard from a very good source that just recently at a grammar party, Beyonce insisted at the last minute that there be no female bartenders because the husband was going to be there, Jay-Z.
Ooh.
So
Wow. She's still keeping
still upset about that elevator situation, but she knows how to make the lemonade, and so do you. Thank you.